So they had to run home, get a camera so they can come over and take a picture of me. طبعا my father was having this proud moment. No, yes, okay, we're gonna wait for you. Go to the car, go to your house, get the camera, and we'll wait for you here. Of course, outside, all the other cars are waiting and they're angry that, we need to make a move if we're gonna make it on time and so on. My mother, on the other hand, on the other side, is calming everyone down because, my daughter is having a moment. So please, we'll just wait for a few moments and then we can move on and carry on to our destination. So that moment, it just changed my life. I was like, oh, people like me, they know me.
And
Kids, they want to take pictures with me.
Yes. The only person you're destined to become is the person you decide to be. I am honored to welcome Ibtihal Al Zadjali to HerStory. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much, Sayyida Maya, for inviting me to be on your show. It's such a tremendous honor to be considered one of the women that you're interested to hear about their story.
Of course I am. You've been shining our screens on Oman TV ever since I could remember. As I was young, I was watching TV and I thought, oh, who's this cute girl that we have here? And it turned out to be you. And I was always wanted to know what's the story behind how you started TV at such a young age.
Oh, starting TV was something, shockingly, I wasn't really interested in.
Hard to believe.
Well, if you want us to go back to the very beginning and the very first day, it was a very interesting experience for me that my parents thought would be a good experience because I had some trouble communicating with other people. So the fact that I was able to have an opportunity and take advantage of it was an honor. And alhamdulillah, my parents made the right decision for me, and I'm very blessed that they pushed me to actually go for it. And today I made a career out of it.
I always imagine that they probably saw you مثلا, holding a microphone or interviewing other people. Then they thought, okay, we need to put Ibtihal in front of a camera and she needs to start doing this.
It was the other way around, trust me.
Really?
Okay, so if you want me to be completely honest with you and speak about something that I have never ever spoken about, at least in a public forum, as a young girl, I was a very shy girl. I had trouble communicating with people, and I had some, if we can call it, speech limitations.
Okay.
That caused me or actually had other kids in my community, in my school, kids that were my age, to make fun of me. So because of that problem that I had, I was very shy. I wasn't interested to speak. My parents always wanted me to open up, to become more confident.
Yes.
And just deal with the issues that I had at the time. I remember vaguely my mother trying to have me go to more social events, invite more kids to come over and play with me, so she can watch me have decent conversations with them.
Yeah.
But I would always refuse.
And how old were you when this was happening?
I was very young, but when I started when I had my first TV job, I was around 7 years old. So that was way before I was 7.
That, yeah.
So probably 5, 6, something like that. Well, just to make it clear for people that I have the issues that I had is that I was very shy. I wouldn't speak. I would keep everything to myself, won't be able to share my thoughts, because I was not able to pronounce some letters properly, like the R, L, K. I remember a couple of letters were very difficult for me to pronounce. So whenever I spoke, I would have kids make fun of me and bully me because of the way I speak. On top of that, I had an accent.
So you decided just to shut yourself completely.
You know what? I'm not going to speak.
Yeah.
That's it.
You cannot make fun of
I
me
will learn
anymore.
sign language. So when an opportunity presented itself to my parents that there's this TV show, maybe your kid would be interested in it, they were like, maybe this could be
A good thing.
good therapy for her.
Yeah.
Let's just go and see how it goes. If it works out, well. If it doesn't, we have nothing
At
to
least you
lose.
tried, right?
At least we
Right.
tried.
Yeah.
So to their surprise, they take me to the audition. It's just me and the camera, and I'm like la 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 speaking, and having the time of my life, and everything was perfect.
So you felt completely comfortable in front of the camera.
I made friends with the camera from day one. So I got the gig.
Yes.
I was selected to be part of that show that they were looking for kids to participate in. And ever since, this is all I remember from my childhood. One show after the other, one show after the other. And alhamdulillah, I grew in this industry. And the issue that I had, with time, it resolved itself. But of course, my parents invested a lot in a speech therapist that would come to our house to help me out, teach me how to speak properly, and address the issues that I had at the time. It kind of made me stronger that, you know what, if you're going to make fun of me and the way I speak, I don't really care. I'm special.
You are, and you should also know that by sharing, first of all, I want to thank you so much for sharing this part, especially because you haven't shared it in public before.
Never.
And I can imagine it's not easy, but I promise you, Ibtihal, you are inspiring somebody out there who's watching to know that we all have some sort of challenges. We have to overcome them just like you did with support from your parents. And you are able to continue doing it as a profession. This is who you are now. And it's just truly inspirational. So thank you very much for sharing with us today.
Alhamdulillah. And thank you for having me speak about this, because I've never spoken about it ever. When you have something that you're insecure about,
Yes.
it's very difficult for you to come and speak about it. Especially that's something that you have struggled as a kid.
Yes.
To overcome and had all these challenges that were out there. It's a bit difficult, but today I'm so proud of everything that I have done and everything that I went through. And alhamdulillah, the fact that I had my parents, my siblings, my family in general that would support me and would address the issues that I had and help me resolve them. It's a blessing that I will
another
always
thing we have to realize that if you hadn't gone through that challenge, you wouldn't be where you are today.
Yes.
It's, as difficult as it is to remember how difficult it was, but again, if you put things into perspective, if you haven't gone through that,
it made me the person that I am today.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. And I understand now, yes, this is your career, but you're a mother. You are, alhamdulillah, married, you're a mother, you have your own business. You've done so many things that you've accomplished in your life, mashallah. And one thing I want to know is, how do you do it? Because how do you find the time to do all of this?
Well, to be honest...
Ibtihal is about to share her secret. Listen very carefully.
Well, it's not a real secret. It's a discipline that I always had in my life. I remember as a kid also, it's always about my parents. This shows how important investing in your kids is from early stages. I remember as a kid, I was not allowed to have any free time.
Yes.
Yes, so I would have fun, have friends, do different things in my life, but it always had to be something productive. So for me, as a kid who's starting their career, if we can call it a career at that point, at 7 years old, I was always busy recording different shows. Of course, the times that I wouldn't spend in school or recording for TV and radio, I would spend developing myself in something. I used to love, and I still love, taking different courses and workshops and different things that would help me in my life and in my career. So I remember when I was about 12, 13 years old, my parents signed me up for a time management course, which was so
13,
random.
wow.
It was so random.
Yeah.
So they signed me up for this course. I went. I was the youngest person in the room. Everyone around me were like career people. They're already halfway through their careers and so on. And there's this little kid attending this course. So it was a very essential course for me because I learned how to manage my time properly. I learned that every minute gone is wasted if you don't invest it properly. So today, as I got busier and I'm older and I have other responsibilities and more responsibilities, it became a norm for me. It's very normal for me to multitask and manage my time properly.
So what are sorry to interrupt, just what are some tips that you can share? Because I'm interested to know.
Like tips.
Your one most important thing, what would that be?
I follow this method that's blocks of times. I don't know if you know of it.
Yeah. You block certain times.
So in the past, I would have different appointments at different times of the day. But as I grew older and have different responsibilities now, I block time. So like from 9 to 12, I will focus on this task.
Yeah.
If it's done, it's done. If it's not done, then I move on to the next one and worry about this the next day. So I find this works much better for me at this time because when you have different blocks of different tasks that you need to get done and accomplished at a time, I find that you become more productive. But if you have like an appointment at 10 and then another one at 12 that has nothing to do with each other, you just get confused and then you're all over the place and not accomplishing anything. So this is one tip that I can elaborate more if we have more time.
Thank you for sharing your tips. And not only that, you're a media personality, you're a social media influencer, you have your own company, which I came recently to find out. You're married, you're a mother, and you also recently graduated with your master's, and you did that while you were pregnant, mashallah. So time management is definitely what works for Ibtihal. She shared some of her tips. Maybe we can do another episode on the whole, how she runs her life. But thank you so much for sharing that with us. One thing, Ibtihal, I'd really like to know as well is, apart from that challenge, is there anything that you face? Because what I try to focus with HerStory is that I'm interviewing women who I find very inspirational, who have succeeded in their career, but I know that it was not an easy ride. People always assume like, oh, she knows somebody, she has done this, done that, but they don't know that there's some struggles. And so you mentioned the part with your speech, and is there anything else that you could share with us that just gives an idea to people that it was not easy, that it really takes a lot of hard work?
See, at the time when I started being on TV and radio, it was not very common for women or girls to be working in this industry. Yes, we did have a couple of names that are still shining until today, and we look up to them. But very few people were actually interested as women to get involved in this industry. As you become more successful, more famous, and you have more to give to the community, people judge you more. Even in the industry itself. I remember at different points of my career, I would be interested to do something, but the people who are making decisions regarding whether I will do it or not would think that, no, Ibtihal, we think you should do that, not this. So, but I know and I see it in myself that I can do the thing that I want to do. When you're on the media, people are watching you on TV, people are always judging what you're saying, what you look like. the kind of show that you're in. So I always had to find a balance between what I want to do, between whether or not to listen to the management that are trying to put me in a box, which of course I broke it, because I was not able to follow what people wanted me, or the path that people thought is better for me. And the other side is the audience that's expecting something from you, and they look up to you in different aspects of your life, and you need to keep this connection with them and have this balance where, okay, I know not everyone is gonna like me, but at least they can respect me for what I do,
and that you're doing what you love and what you're passionate about.
Yes. So so having people judge me all my life was just a struggle, but I learned how to block it out and just put out there what I believe is right. Whether it's a show on TV, on radio, it's a story that I believe in, that I want to showcase. Of course, this applies to my social media platforms as well. Because in our community, it's very sad to talk about this, but recently people are drawn to the content that is not as valuable as it should be. So it's very difficult for people like me to find that balance, to put out there a good content and still stay relevant.
Yes, very true.
So yeah, basically these are the main things that I can think of right now.
To me, what I can hear is that you struggled, and what made you, stay true to yourself is listening to your inner voice and believing in yourself and blocking the others. That is really valuable advice. One more thing just before we end is I want to know, when did you know, because you started your career at such a young age, when did you know, was there a moment that you thought, oh my God, okay, I'm famous? I don't know if there's a story you have for us for you to share with us.
Actually, this is very interesting because surprisingly I remember that moment very well.
Okay.
As a kid, we used to go on camping trips a lot with my family. It was our thing. Every other weekend, we would gather and go on a road trip to somewhere in Oman, because we just have beautiful places to visit. And so I remember one of the trips, I was already like 2 or 3 years into my career, so I was like 9 or 10 years old. Still struggling with my speech limitations. Wasn't over it yet. So on the way to our destination, it was like 2 hours away from where we live. On the way, we had to stop and buy some supplies for the trip. Some snacks and stuff. And we are a couple of cars. It wasn't just our car, like 3, 4, 5 cars, because it was us, my uncles, the whole family. The whole family. So we had to stop for supplies somewhere in Dakhiliya, I think, but I don't remember which wilaya exactly. So we walk into the store, and there is this bunch of kids looking and whispering at me. Of course, in my mind, they're making fun of me.
Yes, because we've been used to, to that miskin. Yeah.
So I got uncomfortable and went to my father. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the car and please get me this and this and that. So he's like, no. Everybody gets what they want. Because, we're a lot of kids and, he can't just handle, all these, all of us. He's like, no, please get whatever you want and then go to the car. I'm like, yeah, but, these kids, they didn't do anything. They were just looking and whispering. So while I was speaking to my father and telling him that I'm not comfortable, I want to go to the car and so on, one of the kids come over to us. So the kid is like, she's coming. It was a girl. She's coming. They sent her, and as she came closer and as she approached me, I got scared. I'm like, what does she want? So she comes she's like, are you Ibtihal from TV? I'm like, I didn't know. Should I say yes or no? Because I was thinking, like, Then my father goes, yes, that's Ibtihal from TV. So she got excited and she went to tell her friends, yes, yes, this is Ibtihal. And then it was just a chaos. So of course, back then, not everyone had cameras available at any time, not on the phones and so on. So they had to run home, get a camera so they can come over and take a picture of me. طبعا my father was having this proud moment. No, yes, okay, we're going to wait for you. Go to the car, go to your house, get the camera, and we'll wait for you here. Of course, outside, all the other cars are waiting and they're angry that, we need to make a move if we're going to make it on time and so on. My mother, on the other hand, on the other side, is calming everyone down because, my daughter is having a moment. So please, we'll just wait for a few moments and then we can move on and carry on to our destination. So that moment, it just changed my life. I was like, oh, people like me, they know me.
And
Kids, they want to take pictures with me.
Yes. So it changed, that moment changed what?
Yeah, it was because it was my first interaction with a fan, someone that I don't really know on a daily basis. And they only know me from TV.
And probably for once we're saying something good about you instead of laughing at you.
Yes, so that moment, it just changed my life. I started looking at my career in a different way. I loved it even more because I saw that genuine respect and love from a kid my age.
And a total stranger, a person you didn't know. So it makes a total difference.
Yes.
Well, with that positive note, thank you so much, Ibtihal, for sharing your story. And I'm telling you, you might not believe me now, but you are inspiring somebody. You've inspired me, to focus, to be better with my time. So thank you so much for sharing your story on HerStory.
Thank you so much, Sayyidah Maya.
Thank you.